Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hazim Roshdi bin Muhammad Hawari, AA 191642, and I am going to be presenting about case study 2, which is communications problems at Ozark Corporation. Okay, March is the busiest time of the year at Ozark Corporation. Thus, when the production line in section A has trouble for the second time in a week, Sam Case decides he'd better get it straightened out immediately. Sam calls Paul, which is the new supervisor in section A. Like we can see in the conversation, Paul said that the problems in section A, which is led by, Sam calls Paul, who is the supervisor in section A. He said that there cannot be any more problems after today. But after the next morning after, Sam received the production figures for yesterday, and he called Paul again. He says, "What happened to this section? I thought you fixed the problem." And then when Paul was asked what he did yesterday, he said that he just replaced the automatic control unit, which was the problem, and ultimately it stopped the the work yesterday. So that made the problems in the section not better, but like it's the same, but it needed time because the production figures was down because there was no work going on because of the automatic control unit. And then Sam was not happy, and he said that there should there should not have been any pull of units in the middle of workday because he did not want the sections to stop working. And he said that he said to Paul that you should have done preventive measure before pulling it during workday and just do it after the work shift. Paul was not aware of that because he was told by Sam that just do anything you need to do and to just get rid of the problem. And then Paul was like he'll do anything to get rid of it, and then Sam said fine. And then the check of the line reveals that there was a problem with the automatic control unit, and he said that it would take 4 hours to replace the unit. And then, well, if they put a new one, the problem will not happen for at least 16 months, which is about a year and a half. So, but then Sam was like getting weird about Paul because he made the decision on his own. He didn't even consult Sam first. So, at the end of the day, they start discussing the matter from the beginning. Okay, I'll respond to the case, which is question 1. Analyze the communication between the lead supervisor, Sam Case, and the new supervisor in section A, Paul Banks. What did Sam do wrong? Okay, we're ultimately trying to find what Sam did wrong. Okay, one lead supervisor named Sam Case and the new supervisor named Paul experienced inadequate contact in his report, which caused the production failure and the production line of section A to be shut down again. By good contact, there are many ways that this may have been avoided. Knowing the challenges to successful cooperation and the implementations it will generate would both assist Sam and Paul in the long run. Okay. The relationship between these two lead supervisor and section supervisor is very large and very weak. They were having weak coordination, and this resulted in output losses. This happened during the busiest time of the year for Ozark Company, which is March. And this was a major point of destruction for the company because if during the busiest time of the year, which is March, and you're not having your problems quickly disintegrated, you're going to have a lot of problems. Okay, the next point in this question 1 will be continued by my group member. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Dish Furqan bin Muhammad Fadli, and I am going to continue Hazim Roshdi presentation about the first question. The first question is analyze the communication between the lead supervisor Sam Case and the new supervisor in section A, Paul Banks. What did Sam do wrong? Hazim Rushdie stopped at the March is the busiest time of the year for the Ozark company, according to the post. Therefore, when the production line in section A has issue for the second time in a week, Sam Case determines that it will be best to quickly get it straightened out. Hazim Rushdie has stopped here, and I am going to continue from here. Okay, Sam is directly in charge of parts A and B as the main boss. Sam realized that one of the production lines had a problem and wanted to figure out what the problem was by talking to Paul about it. Sam's approach to Paul on the production line issue was straightforward and forward on quickly solving the problem. Sam specifically indicated that he had to take care of the issue right away, or that was Paul's interpretation. At the end of the workday, Sam did not explicitly mention to Paul that he had the problem taken care of. In conclusion, Sam was not specific in his orders. He did not clearly explain how he wanted Paul to approach the problem. If he had explained the problem more clearly, Paul could have done a better job. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fakrami. So I will explain to you about question 2. The question is, how could the problem have been prevented? So my answer is, if Sam taken more time to figure out the problem and communicated more clearly, the problem can be prevented. Sam was supposed to have asked Paul first if he knew that what caused the line to break down so many times. If Paul did not grasp the challenge, so Sam should have faced the preventive maintenance scenario. However, if it was not to do preventive maintenance or troubleshoot problem in Paul's job description, then it will not be Sam's place to discipline Paul. Sam should have just asked Paul to work out what the problem was with the production line of section A and to report back to him so that all of them could discuss a solution together. That's all from me. Thank you.
Um, for Paul, as a boss, there are many things that he did wrong. As majority of supervisor in production line system are accountable for all facts of the line, including maintenance. They are in charge. They are in charge of a segment. When Paul was confronted so many times about the production line being shut down, he should have acknowledged the question and situation. By not understanding what the issue and cons can mean to his manager, Sam that he does not do his job effectively. Also, when Paul responded that he would get right of it, he should have been more specific to Sam as to how soon he would solve the problem.
My name is Muhammad Ishaq Hakimi bin Muhammad Radwan. My metric number is AA191157. Today I'm gonna explain about question 3. Discuss the barriers to effective communication. What should Sam and Paul learn from this experience that will make them better communicators and more effective supervisors? From this case, we can realize that the major problem is lack of knowledge of a subject can be a barrier to effective communication. If Sam had understood the problem first, he could have communicated on how to solve the problem. This thing can be similar to the above as the new supervisor. He should ask Sam what he had to do first. One solution that could have prevented the ineffective communication is active listening skills. Active listening means you are giving the individual speaking your undivided attention and asking necessary probing questions to understand what you are hearing. Paul nor Sam were successful in conducting active listening. Paul may have emphasized and repeat what Sam had said to him so there was no question. However, by Paul nor Sam asking any question at all on the matter at hand caused for conflict. Paul took it upon himself to have the problem fixed right away rather than at the end of production hours. This because Sam told him that he wanted the problem fixed instead of specifying to Paul what he needs to do. Sam and Paul can become better supervisors from this experience by using active listening and effective communication. Instead of just assuming, ask questions to better understand the situation better. By using these skills and communicating effectively will make the production run smoother and the supervisor will be more proactive at finding the problems before they start. That's all from our group. Thank you.